Hey, golf fans, we are back here in Mid-Pines in Pinehurst, down here in North Carolina. We're really happy to be talking with Phil Werz, who is the head of the CVB down here, and he's the man to know. He knows everything that's going on there. Phil, welcome to Back Nine Report.
Oh, thanks, Fred. Great to see you again.
Yeah, it's just wonderful to be down here. We got a Chamber of Commerce day. It's sun shining, 70 degrees. We're looking down 18 here at Mid-Pines. What could be better?
It is in master's condition. It looks absolutely incredible. Kelly and his staff do a great job here across the street at Pine Needles and Southern Pines Golf Club. Just look at it. It's just spectacular.
Phil, every time we talk to you or read something, I mean, Pinehurst is just growing in all directions. I mean, you not only golf, but distilleries and microbreweries and restaurants and new whatever. Pinehurst is building another golf course, and it's unbelievable.
It is, and I'll take my glasses off too, so everybody can see my face. But yeah, it is. The growth here is spectacular. I think the one thing we need to do as a tourism entity is that we don't grow too fast, too soon. We need to maintain the charm and quaintness of this destination while adding some amenities to get not only golfers but the non-golfers to come to the destination as well. You mentioned some of the new things going on. By this time next year for the U.S. Open, early 2024, we're looking at a new Southern Pines Brewing Company. Micah Neubauer, the owner of that facility, has bought the old Tyson & Jones Buggy Factory that was the largest producer of horse-drawn buggies in the United States. And
big demand for that now.
Right, yeah. The Model T came along, and Mr. Ford built cars, and there goes the buggy. But they do an annual buggy festival every year, but that building is still there. Micah's purchased it, and in early 2024, it'll be his next site for Southern Pines Brewing Company, a 2-story restaurant, brewery, and I'm hoping for a rooftop bar. The building is obviously very old. It's built in the late 1800s, so hopefully Micah can make that happen. And then there's going to be a destination distillery, which is almost walking distance from where we are here at Mid-Pines. It's on the other side of Highway 1, very close to the original Southern Pines Brewing Company. It's going to be called Bhawk, B-H-A-W-K, and that's Jessica and Brad Halling. Both Army veterans. In fact, there's a great story with Brad Halling. He was on the mission in Mogadishu that inspired the movie Black Hawk Down, hence the name Bhawk, which Black Hawk, but also means Brad Halling American Whiskey Company. And so that will open. It's going to be a destination distillery. But they have some other drinks and accommodations and amenities and food as well. So we're looking forward to that. And it's, like I said, just real close here, right off Highway 1 in Midland.
So you mentioned Southern Pines, and I want to let our listeners know that have not been down here. Everybody talks about Pinehurst, and Pinehurst is the village. It's right up the street here. But Southern Pines is a wonderful little town. It's very quaint. The downtown area is split by a railroad track. Great restaurants down there. A lot of things to do. And I was driving out through the countryside. There are beautiful lots and housing out in there. Yeah, and then you got Aberdeen, so it's kind of a tri-city kind of a thing.
Right, and that's our name, the Pinehurst Southern Pines Aberdeen Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. The 3 towns are really close by. In fact, when I first interviewed for this job, if I had to meet somebody, it was always 4.4 miles away. So, and like you said, these towns are all very close knit. They're a small town. You know, they remind me of Mayberry. They're just very quaint towns. They're listed. All 3 towns are listed top 3 safest communities in the state of North Carolina for over 25 years. You mentioned Southern Pines, great walking downtown. Amtrak runs through there. In fact, the Department of Transportation, North Carolina, is talking about improving a line. It's called the S line from Richmond, Virginia, that would go through Southern Pines. It would be more of a commuter rail that would come through here. So again, another opportunity.
So if you're on the East Coast, you don't want to drive, jump on the train.
And bring your clubs. And you can hop right off in downtown Southern Pines. You can walk to the Jefferson Inn. You can walk to all kinds of shops and restaurants. And the village of Pinehurst is only 4.5, 5 miles away, and you've got a great walking downtown there. And Pinehurst Resort is walking distance away, as well as the Pinehurst Brewing Company.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And then on top of it, the USGA has made a tremendous commitment to the Pinehurst.
Yeah, we're so happy that happened, at the state and everybody was involved in that locally to bring the USGA here. They already had staff here, about 15. It'll end up being about 50 people that'll be housed in that new facility. There's actually 2 buildings. They'll be done by the end of this year and open in early 2024. So in one building, you have the administrative staff and you'll have the testing center for all the golf balls and golf clubs. And then the other building will be the green grass section, and then the World Golf Hall of Fame, which is coming back where it originally started here in Pinehurst. So everybody knows it's down in St. Augustine, but it originally started here, went down to Florida, but it's coming back home to the home of American golf.
Yeah, hopefully, I've been to the World Golf Hall of Fame there in St. Augustine, and it just never quite achieved the success that they wanted being there, even though there's 2 golf courses there and all this stuff that they have. But this is really kind of the home of American golf here in Pinehurst, with all the history that you have and all the great golf. And I always say, anybody who wants to come down here, it's golf all the time here. It's just wonderful. But I really look
It's our DNA. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I really look forward to the Hall of Fame getting back here, because I think you guys will do a much better job with it.
Well, thank you very much. And that has a lot to do with the USGA and with Pinehurst Resort. And while the World Golf Hall of Fame will have a facility there, the induction ceremony, which they will do, and I understand, I just learned this myself, they don't do the inductions every year. It's just when they need to. So there will be a need for the induction ceremony next year, and that'll be done the week of the U.S. Open, which is June 13th or 16th. I think the induction ceremony is June the 10th. And so we look forward to that as well.
Kelly, anything else? Or Kelly. Phil, anything else you want to talk about before we let you go today?
No, we just appreciate you coming back to the home of American golf. There's always things happening here, always changing. I would say we could probably use a few more golf courses. I know Pinehurst I almost said Pinehurst number 10, but Tom Pasher will correct me and say it is the 10th course, not number 10. So he says it's the 10th course. There will be an 11th course at some point, because he said, well, there's 900 acres out there. We're building on 250. They will add some lodging components as well as a clubhouse and another short course, which I believe will be lighted, because they can't light the one at the Cradle because the village will not allow that with that kind of density there with the highway right there. So it's in that secluded area. If you remember the Pitt golf course, all that out there. So he said, well, do the math, 900 acres, 250 for this golf course and everything else. So there's plenty of other land for the 11th course. But there's always a need for golf here. The demand has been unbelievable, especially post-COVID. The leisure demand here for golf is through the roof.
Tee sheets are full all the time, aren't they?
Unbelievable.
If you're coming down here, get your name in early.
Get your name in early, and people ask me, well, so when are your shoulder seasons? Like, well, there might be one shoulder, and it's really small, and it's like December to February. Everything else, from March 1st, in fact, February was the warmest February of all time, according to our local NBC affiliate in Raleigh that covers this area. So February was an all-time record month for us in terms of occupancy tax collections, which funds our budget. So, February through Thanksgiving, if it's warm, December, January, we're full 12 months out of the year. So we are a full-time, globally recognized golf destination, and we love everybody that comes here.
I've been down here several times, late March, early April. I think I've had one bad rainy day in all the times I've been down here over the last 10, 15 years. And like I say, today, it's March 30th today, and it's 70 degrees, just a light breeze. It's absolutely perfect.
I don't even need this vest on. It's for cosmetic purposes only. And I will get out after work today and walk the 9 holes. I like to get out and walk. I need to lose a few pounds, so that's always good. But, that's one thing that I've learned since I moved here to Pinehurst 5 years. I used to walk, but most of the time I would ride. But Tom Pashley, a lot of people here are really passionate about walking golf courses and getting out there, strapping on the bag. You get to see more of the golf course, and you look and you see the dogwoods and the azaleas. I mean, it's very, very Augusta-like here, and it's beautiful when it's spring here.
Phil, before I let you get away, one more question. So, looking forward, what are you seeing over the next 5 years here?
Well, I will tell you, there will be enormous growth between the 2024 U.S. Open and the 2029 U.S. Open. DOT, Department of Transportation, has canceled a lot of roadway or roadside projects in advance of the U.S. Open. They didn't want it to be all torn up before that. But between 24 and 29, there will be some growth, some expansion, and highways will be widened. So in time for the 2029, if you're coming here for 24 U.S. Open and 29 U.S. Open, you don't come in between, you will notice a totally different place when you come back. But again, it's all about smart growth and making sure we do it the right way. We've got a Target coming to town, so we're super happy about that. We've never had one before, so everybody's super psyched about that. We just got a Chipotle. So, we grow and slowly, and
it's called a village. I mean, there's 3 towns here, but each one are small.
Yeah, and each one, they all have their own townships and municipalities, the way they run them. So, the village is different, what they regulate versus what Southern Pines does versus Aberdeen. But I think collectively they understand that we want to grow the right way. So there are some things happening here. And I mentioned Target and Chipotle kind of tongue in cheek because we're not talking about massive growth. But for an area that has 17,000 people in Pinehurst and fewer than that in Southern Pines, any kind of growth is big growth. And when you've been kind of that quaint kind of place in the middle of, I wouldn't say nowhere, but southwest of Raleigh and the Sandhills of North Carolina, we're more recognized now, especially with the U.S. Opens, the USGA, World Golf Hall of Fame, everything else and all the lore this destination has, moving forward, there's going to be a lot of things happening here. Some good, a lot good, I think. But, some of those things, with the growth comes some growing pains as well. So admittedly so, we hope to keep that as small as possible. So when you come here, you still have that great experience that you're coming to an escape, getting out of those bigger cities and those places that are more congested and higher volume. So when you come here, you can relax. That's what this is all about.
One of the things that Phil does, if you're coming down here and you want to get information on the area, things to do, places to stay, all that kind of thing, help plan your trip, visit your website.
That's homeofgolf.com. Pretty easy to remember, homeofgolf.com.
And you can find all that stuff there. And if not, you can get on there, chat, send them an email, and they will fix you right up.
We do. We have a great staff. It's me and 3 other people full-time. We've got a couple of part-timers, but, everybody calls us every day about golf, about lodging, about restaurants, and everything else there is to see and do here. And we're happy to talk to them. Stop by our office. We're right in downtown Southern Pines. In fact, we're right across the street from the Southern Pines Growler Company, so you can go grab a beer. I'll go with you and have one, and you come over to the office, and we can talk about what to see and do here.
Fantastic. Phil Werz, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Fred. Great to see you again.